guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is going to be a little bit in the season because it is going to be a book lover's gift guide for Christmas for things that aren't books. I know that every year I always get questions from like family and friends about what you want for Christmas, and pretty much always my answer is books. So I know that they've had to get a little bit creative in past years as far as what they wanted to buy me, because they don't want to just buy me books every year, which I don't know why. I would be totally fine with that. So the first gift idea for book lovers is a book box subscription. There are so many ideas for these out there. My husband John started doing this for me last Christmas, as did my father-in-law, and so far I have gone through an Owl Crate, a Book of the Month, and a Once Upon a Book Club subscription. They've gotten me those for Christmas and for my birthday, and I loved them both. So there's so many options as far as book box subscriptions go. There's a lot of them out there. There's Owl Crate, there's Illuma Crate, there's Fairy Loot, what else is there? Bookship. There's a whole bunch. I will link as many of them as I can remember in the description down below, but I know that a lot of times they will offer a 1-month subscription, 3 months, 6 months to a whole year. In the past, John has usually gotten me 3-month subscriptions just so that I can feel it out and see a couple of different months if I like it. And if not, I'm not obligated any longer than 3 months. So it's always a great idea. There's always lots of fun stuff that comes in it. You get all sorts of different experiences, all sorts of different goodies that come in it. With Owl Crate, Owl Crate has a lot of really good bookish objects that come in it, like my Harry Potter mug and a bunch of bookmarks that I've gotten up there. I believe this came in an Owl Crate as well. So yeah, there's a lot of really good stuff that comes in them. Once Upon a Book Club is different specifically because all of the gifts that come in the box are tailored to the book that they've included. So they try and make it as involved in the story as possible, and it kind of just ups the reading experience because they put sticky notes at certain pages, and when you get to a sticky note, you open the corresponding gift. It's kind of hit or miss. There's a couple of things that I've gotten that I will probably never touch. There's a couple of things that I've gotten that I absolutely adore. So, it's kind of just up to you. Do your research, look into which ones that interest you the most, look into spoilers or previous boxes to see what you think, but I would highly recommend book box subscriptions as a gift idea. My next suggestion is just bookish goodies. I know that I said a lot of them come in book box subscriptions, but there's a lot of bookish goodies that are out there that don't, and that is, fandom-based stuff. If you know somebody loves a particular fandom, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, whatever, there's lots of merch out there for lots of different cool series or books, and there's a lot of different places that you can get those things. The Bookish box, I know, has a lot of, clothing and stuff like that. The book box subscriptions that I mentioned before, they'll have past item sales on their websites, and if you look on there, there's a lot of times a lot of really cool merch for different series that don't necessarily get a lot of merch. Redbubble is a really good option because a lot of artists can put their art on Redbubble and they can be put onto different types of items like pencil cases or like planners or wall tapestries or literally endless. Redbubble has endless options for the amount of things that you can get on there and so many different cool fandoms that you can get put on your stuff. Lithographs is a really cool, interesting option. They've been around for a really long time. But Lithographs essentially takes all of the words, or most of the words, I don't know exactly how much, from a particular book and prints it onto a t-shirt or a blanket or a tote bag or whatever. They've got a lot of the classics. They've got a lot of different genres like Outlander, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, all of that kind of stuff, and they print the words on the actual merchandise. And so that's a really cool little keepsake. I think that as of right now, I have a t-shirt from Lithographs, which is The Princess Bride, and I have a scarf from Lithographs, which is Romeo and Juliet, and I love them both. My next gift idea is a little bit more practical probably than fun, but I know that I have been really craving one lately, and that is a book reading pillow. It kind of sounds silly, but in all honesty, when you have a heavy hardcover or a heavy floppy paperback like The Way of Kings or something that's hefty like this, it gets exhausting trying to hold it up to read it all the time, and being hunched over on top of it when it's set on a table is also not super comfortable. enter the book reading pillow. You put this into your lap and you prop the book up on it and you just recline and it stays up and you don't have to hold it, you don't have to hold your legs up or whatever. It is amazing. I want one so bad, and I think that that would be a really great gift for any book lover that has a lot of like heavier like adult fantasy, like those are chunky books, or like hardcovers or anything like that. I think it would be perfect. Idea number 4 is half something that I've discovered super recently. So the concept of reading journals have been around for a really long time. I know that Owlcrate releases a yearly reading journal in every single one of their November boxes, I'm pretty sure, for the upcoming year. And Always Fully Booked is super popular on Etsy. It sells out in minutes, and it's like a year-long reading journal, reading tracker kind of a thing. Obviously, lots of people love having like that physical planner or that physical reading tracker so that they can keep track of their books read and book reviews and all of that stuff. But there's a digital version, and this is the part that I'm really interested in, because for me, the paper journal, carrying it around, it's so hefty. It's like, it's beautiful, it's aesthetically pleasing, yes, but like if I have to carry it around with me everywhere, I'm never going to use it. It's always going to be left behind. I discovered digital reading journals yesterday, and it's going to change my reading experience. I can tell you that for sure. It's the same concept as a digital planner. If you don't know what that is, definitely Google it. There's tons of YouTube videos in the bullet journaling community and whatnot about digital planning, digital journaling. But reading journals specifically are awesome. I found one yesterday. I will put a link to it down below, and it's by the Etsy shop Amethyst and Garnet. I love it so much so far. Honestly, it is all hyperlinked just like a digital planner is, and it is so user-friendly. You can add as many pages as you want. It's really affordable, and the owner of the shop is such a sweetheart. She's so accepting of any feedback that you might have. She's got great stickers. She's got regular digital planners as well that are awesome. I will leave her shop link down below. I cannot rave enough about how awesome this digital reading journal is, and I can't wait to use it throughout the month of December and see how much it helps me keep track of my reading and my thoughts while I'm reading. Idea number 5 is admittedly only for those specific people that like to annotate their books. Not everybody likes to write in their books, and that's totally fine, that's totally acceptable. It's really something I only started doing this year myself. Before that, I was a hardcore, do not mark up my book, why would you touch it that way, you absolute heathen kind of reader. And now I write in them all the time. I use my sticky tabs, I use my highlighters, I use my colored pens, all of it. I do all of it. I can't draw, like, worth a crap, so I don't draw in my books, but anything that I'm thinking while I'm reading, anything that I find funny, that I want to underline, things like that, I will absolutely put a sticky tab and I will write a comment in there. I'm not going to show you any examples because this isn't a how I annotate video, which I'm probably going to be making at some point soon. However, as far as annotation supplies go, I think that many book lovers that do annotation need a little bit of a kit. So I think that the pens are really important, the sticky tabs are really important, and a little pencil case to hold all of their supplies in is really important, and highlighters. So I will put a link down below to the kinds of these that I like to use specifically. I know that a lot of BookTube uses the same sticky tabs, and I use the exact same ones. They're like see-through and they've got the little pointy arrow on them. I think they're great. They don't lift any of the ink. They don't, they're not too opaque so I can't see what I'm reading through. You can't write on them, which I don't really love, but that's totally fine. Most of the supplies that I have for when I annotate honestly come from Books with Chloe's How I Annotate video, so I will link that down below as well, because I bought the exact same pens that she uses and I bought the exact same sticky tabs that she uses. I will also put a link down below to some highlighters that I think work really, really well, but anybody who annotates does need a bunch of things in their kit, and they need a way to carry them all around with them, and what better way to do that with like a pencil case from Redbubble or something like that, which is where I got mine. Mine is Throne of Glass themed, and I love it so, so much. My next suggestion is a board game that we didn't recently discover, but we have been playing it a lot more recently, and the entire storyline behind it, the entire concept behind it, I think really appeals to bookish-minded people, and that is the board game Scythe. If you haven't ever heard of it before, it is a very intense game of Risk meets, I don't even know what it meets. It's like Risk times 10,000. Essentially, it is all in a steampunk world. You play as a specific faction, and your goal at the end of the game is to have the most amount of money. You want to try and build your resources and control different territories and war against other factions if necessary. It is intense. It is a multiple hour-long game. It is detailed. It is incredible. And while it's not specifically based on any book that I know of or video game or anything like that that I know of, it should be, and I would definitely watch anything that is based on this board game because it is so much fun. It's a little bit on the pricier side, but if you were to ever open it and play it yourself with all of the pieces that it comes with, you will absolutely understand why. But it is so much fun, and I highly recommend it to anybody who likes tabletop board games. My very last suggestion on this list is a bathtub reading tray. I don't know many bookish people that don't love to read in the tub. It's like a whole aesthetic. It's delightful. You get candles out. You get your little tray with like the stand that you can prop your hardcovers in. It's amazing. And it's really difficult to try and read your hardcovers and try and keep them... Okay, there's a cat. That really hurt him. Alright, well, I have a cat now. It's really hard to try and keep your hardcovers out of the water, in all honesty, unless you have a nice little bathtub tray. You want to say hi? Say hi! She doesn't want to say hi. John bought me a bathtub tray for my bats years ago, and I still use it every single time I take one. It is a staple whenever I take a bath. It is amazing. It holds a wine glass. It holds my book. What more do you need? And that is it for all of my Christmas present suggestions for the book lover in your life. I know that there's plenty more that I could have given as examples, but I decided to cut it short with that. So if you guys have any other ideas for bookish presents, please leave them in the comments down below. I would love to hear all of your ideas, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!